Hi, Bulldogs. So today we're working on metric mass or metric weight. Mass and weight are words that in the third grade classroom we can use interchangeably. Last week we looked at customary and metric, and we did each for capacity. So this week we're doing each metric and customary for mass or weight. So we talked about the different measurement systems, and we said remember that there are two types of measurements, customary and metric. Metric is primarily used in other countries and in the scientific world, whereas in the United States where we live, we primarily use customary. So the two measurements we're going to dig into today are things you may have heard of before but aren't as familiar with because they're things we tend not to use as frequently in our homes. So we're going to start out with this example. It says Peter has a dollar bill in his pocket. Should Peter measure the mass of the dollar bill in grams or kilograms? The grams, and you can shorten that with the G, is the basic metric unit for measuring mass, or the amount of matter in an object. Mass can also be measured using the metric unit kilogram, or kg for short. So our two examples are a paperclip and a box full of 1,000 paper clips. If you have one single paperclip, so think about if you're in the classroom holding a paperclip. If you have a small paperclip, it has a mass of about 1 gram. Or you remember our gram cubes that we have? They're like the units, what we use for units. That is also a gram. If you had a box of 1,000 paper clips, it would have the mass of about 1 kilogram. So I know we've made a lot of connections as we've gone through our measurements and said if it's light, if it's heavy. So to make it easy, if it's light, like one paper clip, it's going to be gram. If it's heavy, it's heavier than the paper clip, and would be about the box of paper clips, it will be kilogram. Think, the mass of a dollar bill is closer to the mass of a small paper clip than it is to 1,000 paper clips. So if you have something like a dollar bill, you would use a paper clip. So, should Peter measure the mass of the dollar bill in grams or kilograms? We said that dollar bill would be closer to the paper clip. We would measure it like we would the paper clip. So to measure his dollar bill, we would definitely need grams. Let's go through each of these and decide if we would measure it with gram or kilogram. A turkey, a full-size adult-grown turkey. Is he going to be like the weight of one paper clip, or is he going to be more, way more, like probably way more than 1,000 paper clips? We would measure him with kilograms. How about a feather? Feathers are very light, so we would measure it with a gram. How about a crayon? One single crayon. If we had a box of crayons or multiple crayons, we might look at kilograms, but I think for one single crayon, a gram would be our best measurement. A lamp? Usually they have very heavy bases, so probably kilogram. How about a baseball? I think a baseball could either be mini grams or right at a kilogram. We're going to go kilogram to be safe on this one, but if you were doing this on your own in the classroom, I would probably count gram correct as well. Because remember, we can measure it with multiple. It doesn't have to be one single paper clip as the weight. It could be more grams. You could have something that's 5 grams, for say. How about a kettle full of water? If it's full of water, it's probably going to be pretty heavy, so kilograms. Of these items, which item's mass should be measured in grams? Would you measure a chair in grams, a bookcase in grams, a highlighter in grams, or a cat in grams? Remember, grams is our light one. Probably the highlighter. Which item's mass should be measured in grams? Going light again. Would we measure a mitten in grams, a TV, an iron, or a bicycle? Out of this set, my lightest item would probably be the mitten, so I would probably measure the mitten in grams. Now we're going to look at these items. Put the sports items in order from least amount of mass to the greatest amount of mass. So when we're talking about the weight, how much it weighs, and we say it weighs 1 gram or 1 kilogram, we're talking about the amount of mass it has. So if we're putting these in order from the greatest amount of mass, from the least amount of mass to the greatest amount of mass, which one would be the least? What would we start with? Probably this table tennis ball. It's teeny-tiny. What would be next? I think the golf ball. After that, the tennis ball. Next, the baseball. And who's going to be the heaviest? Definitely the bowling ball. The bowling ball is going to have the greatest mass, the greatest weight. Very good. So we are continuing the same type of pattern as you do your activity today. You're going to do a sort. It's going to be one like you did earlier this week and last week. You're going to be going into a Google Slides. You're going to have multiple pictures to look at, and you're going to decide, will I measure these objects using grams or kilograms? Remember, gram, 1 paper clip, kilogram, box of 1,000 paper clips.